we have before us an LTD EC-256 made by ESP Guitars. ESP also make Takamine, and they also do the amplifiers called Engel, ENGL. This is a Les Paul lookalike. It has a solid body of mahogany and a 3-piece mahogany neck with roasted Jatoba wood on the fretboard. It's actually quite a nice guitar. It's actually a lighter guitar. It's a thinner mahogany, and it feels better than a Les Paul, and it has changed the pickups to brand new Seymour Duncans. So what I'm going to do to this is set it up, replace the plastic nut with a bone nut, and I'm going to look in the back to make sure that the pickups have been well and truly put in, and check it all thoroughly. But it's a lovely looking guitar. It feels better than the Les Paul, but let's see what it's like inside. Do you clean your strings? The owner has given me a set of strings to replace fat bottoms, 52s and 10s at the top, but you don't always need to change your strings. You can clean them. Simple way to do that is just using a sanitizer wipe. There's a lot of them going about these days, and you just pick it up, and you might be surprised how dirty your strings are when you start to clean them. It's not just your fingers that is causing the dirt, but there's some corrosion, etc. on them. And when you do clean them, you'll get a sharper sound. And once you've cleaned them, you can see what I'm saying. Look how dirty that string was. And that's not corrosion. There's only a hint of corrosion on that. But if I take another part of it and do it again, you can see how dirty the string can get. And that's the other part of it. So there's a little bit of dirt, and the main part of the dirt, and a little bit of dirt. But after you've done that, you want to run your hand up through it, and that feels perfectly good. I'm going to change these strings, but this string doesn't feel good because the E string has got some damage there. You can feel it in your fingers when you run up and damage there. But generally speaking, you should clean your guitar strings fairly often because you can see what the difference is. I cleaned the E string and the other string, and there's the cat making an appearance. That's Shrimpy, who's just decided to pay us a visit. So that's all alcohol, but you can use ordinary wipes as long as you use a bit of tissue paper afterwards to wipe them and clean them. But that's just changing, that's just the strings. So now I'm going to cut off these strings because they're all loosened. I'm going to use my new string cutter because I like doing that. Not much, I forgot to say, you can clean all the strings, but you'll find that the main fat strings don't get that much dirt on them unless you're a dirty bugger and your guitar's rank like, and you eat chocolate and buns when you're playing on stage. But generally speaking, it's the high strings that get the dirtiest because they're the one you pluck. They're the one you pluck, love. Right, take all these strings off before the cat gets to them. Surprised she's not here. Then she's got her mate with her today, Ginger. He should be staying for a visit. He goes home tonight, actually, but he's been a very good boy. He's worse than she is. He lives on my shoulder almost all the time. He loves to sit up on my shoulder. That doesn't annoy me. I like it. Been freezing here, by the way. I got 2 jumpers on. That's how Kyle I am. Right. So that's it. Now let's test the level of the neck to make sure the neck is straight. There's quite a big, quite a big underbow. So that means the truss rod's going to have to come up a little bit. I like a little bit of underbow, but that's too much. means that's higher than that and that's lower, so it just needs to be tightened to bring that up. So that's fine. We'll check the string, we'll check the fret leveling. What it does is it's checking frets, and if one fret's higher than the other, it'll rock. It's actually quite a nicely made guitar. Not sure if these are Chinese made or not, but it feels quite nicely made. And there's Georgie girl wanting cuddles. All right, you want cuddles, right? She wants cuddles. So cuddles, stop play again. She gets priority over you. Okay, she's decided to abandon me again. So I was halfway through this, checking it. I was able to use one hand to check more on the Jatoba wood. Jatoba wood is mostly found in Brazil. If you're into wood, it is used by several companies. Court guitars use it. A little bit on the 12th fret, which is very, very normal, but it's on that side of the 12th fret. So it doesn't look like I'm going to have to do fret leveling except for that one place. Very, very good. I like it. And these are fat frets, not skinny frets. Let me just check that 12th fret again. Yeah, just that one. Is that the 12th? It's not. 13th, 14th, 15th fret. Right, okay. Still going to get a little bit of attention. Right, let's get the neck straight before I do anything. So let's take off the truss rod and get the truss rods. I'm going to have to take this off anyway because I'm taking the nut off. So where is my little... I've ordered a lot of new plastic tubs because you can go through them. What I have been doing recently, now that I'm starting to get back into the guitars, my work has kept me busy for quite a while. I'm an energy consultant, and with the energy prices skyrocketing, it's been a very, very, very busy time for me. Try to make sure people are cutting back on their electricity use and saving themselves money. So what kind of nut have I got in there? Right, okay. Because I've just got another notification just now that gas prices are going up by 1/3. So you can imagine what that does to people. Well, that's a good feel. So let me just tighten that. So I am an energy consultant that is there to save people money, not to green the world, because saving people money is very important because they have to survive. But at the same time, if you're saving people's energy, why is this so loose? You're also doing the right. Maybe it's a double truss bar. Let's just feel. I'll have a look at it and see. There's a twin truss rod. It's not doing anything yet, but it's starting to get tight. So if you can save people money and find them ways to reduce their electricity and their gas and still survive, then, well, that's just a bit too much now, then you're actually being a very green person. There's green and there's green. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Why am I not happy? I'm not getting it the way I want it. Yeah, that's close to the way I want it. But what I have is I've got a little bit of a... At the top, this is going down. And then I've got a little bit of an underbow. But I don't like the fact that it's going down there. But I can't do anything about that because you can only adjust the neck this way or that way. You can't adjust the neck like an S-shaped pattern. So, right, okay. It's not going to make an awful lot of difference to the playing of it. But I just prefer to see a dead straight neck. Let me look at this. Yeah, that's pretty good, pretty good. We'll just have to make use of that. So we're going to take that nut off now. So where's my nut taker offer? Hopefully this will just come off clean. It did almost come off clean. It left a little bit of wood on it, which is not the end of the planet, but it is plastic, as you can see. And what I'm replacing it with is bone, as you can see. I'm going to show you, there's only one real way to find out which was plastic. If you don't have that slot or dots on the end, you heat up a little needle and you stick it in the bottom part. That'll stink like hell. If you stick a hot needle in there, it'll stink because it's bone. It smells like urine, and this just melts, as you probably know. So I'm going to replace that with that. This is a oh, Georgie girl wants more attention. Did you see that? She gets attention. Right, she gets it. She's the first person to get attention, aren't you? You love your daddy, do you? Say hello to your audience, because you're seeking a lot of attention today. Aren't you? Do you love your daddy? Mm-hmm. Daddy, your daddy loves you. You can purr away. I'm going to switch off the camera. So excuse me while I get some love. Right, I got about 15 minutes of love there. Not happy with the neck still, so I've looked it up a little bit further, and it's a two-way truss rod, which is lovely. So it needs to be de-loosened, and hopefully that will satisfy my issue at the top. It has, right, okay. The two-way truss rod is fixed at. So I've got a lovely little amount of underbow there and the neck straight. So, good job, two-way truss rod, well done. Now, the bone, I was talking to you about the bone nut. I've already told you, blah, 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 stinks. The interesting thing about the way I'm going to do this bone nut is I prefer, because this is a pre-shaped bone nut, you can see it's got the strings and everything on it. I take the everything from the bottom as much as I can, but I am going to have to go down there if I need to. But this bone nut is almost identical. I can't see any difference. So it looks like it just go on. It's going to need to be a little bit thinner from side to side. There's a 42mm neck. It's going to need to be a little bit thinner from side to side and then be brought down a little bit. So that saves me an awful lot of work. It's so tight fitting too. Right, so I'll just put it in, reduce the sides with sandpaper. Nothing exciting. Reduce the sides with sandpaper. And then, I love it, the way it fits in there nice and tight. And there was no damage whenever I took the nut out. Can you see? Can you see, Clover? Right, okay. So I'm going to get a little bit of sandpaper now and choke to death. Where's Georgie girl? Georgie girl's in the man's case, believe it or not. She's locked herself. She's got herself inside the man's case. I left the case open by accident and she's inside it. You little bitch, I see you. Right, okay, I'm going to switch you off now and we'll come back. Okay, that's the nut on, and it's such a great fit that I've decided to work on the top rather than take the bottom off, because it's so flat, it's flush, it fits the curvature of the neck, it's excellent. A little bit concerned about the dirtiness that I see on this. I've already given it a little bit of a wipe, but it's not really as clean as I'd like it because I see a lot of dirt between the frets. So I'm going to give this a bit of a rub-a-dub-dub scrub, and I'm going to use a nylon brush to do it. So I'm just going to do that and get in between the frets, because I see blackness in there and I shouldn't see blackness. And I'm not going to let that water sit for too long because I don't want it to undermine the frets. So I'll do it between there and the 12th and then dry it up and then see what kind of dirt we have. It's not as bad. Maybe it's just the colouring or the stain of the whatever the stain they've used, but it looks dirty in there. So maybe it's not dirt. No, it mustn't be. Must be just the kind of stain they used. Right, okay, well, now that I've cleaned part of it, I'm going to clean the rest of it. No, not much at all. They have stained the fretboard. I can see that much, that's for sure. They've stained the fretboard. I don't particularly like them staining the fretboard because that eventually will let the strings show through. If you know what I mean, you're pressing the string down and it'll take the stain off it. But it's all a part of the character. Frets are lovely. Still going to do something with that, but I'm going to give it a little bit of. I'm going to work on that now. Right, where are we? Where's that machine? Well, it doesn't take much. It won't take much. And maybe I'm being too fussy. But the guy likes to play guitar, so if he likes to play, where's my fancy machine? There it is, there. If he likes to play guitar and he writes his own songs and he's playing on stage, which he does do, then he needs to get it as good as he can get it. This is the wide fret. I'm taking very little off, as you can see. Check that I'm using the wide fret each time. Because this is only a certain depth, I'm not using the fret protector, and because these are new frets, I'm not using the fret protector. You put a fret protector to protect that from being scratched. And what have I done with the Fleming thing? There it is there. Let me just see. Ooh, look at that. Beautiful. So I'll give these a polish with some 600 and then, what's that, 320, too rough. Too rough. What's that, silicone 2000, perfect. And that's 3000, too light. Let me just get some 600 here. 240, 600. I'm just going to use my hand, leg. There you go, right. Now I'm going to use a wipe just to take off the sanding, and then I'm going to use the brush again. This wipe that I'm using is alcohol based. I bought a whole pile of these to do the guitars, because then you know you're not soaking inside the... Get in, focus, focus. Doity, doity, doity. But that's just the fret juice coming off. Fret juice. Of course, none of these alcohol swabs are 100% alcohol. They're water-based as well, but I like the fact that it's got some alcohol in it, which will help to dry up the water quicker as well. So now I'm going to, after doing all that, I'm going to do my favorite bit and put the lemon oil on it. Right, lemon tree, very pretty. Where is it? Let's just dry that a bit before I do. Just the Jatoba wood, Brazilian Jatoba wood. I love it. Although I'm not that fond of lemons, but I love lemon smell. Right. I'm not going to let that stay on for very long because it's a newish guitar. It doesn't need to be soaked. Sorry, it doesn't need to be steeped. It's already got some natural moisture in it, so that will make it look pretty. It does make it look pretty. You can see for yourself. You see, get in tune. That's it. Get in tune. Are you in tune? I can't tell. That. Are you in focus? Come on. Right, okay, let's dry it up a bit more. I use tissues after tissues. Somebody brought me tissues once when they're picking up the guitar. It was very nice. Very nice indeed. You know that you can use lemon oil to clean your guitar with, if it's just a tiny, tiny touch of it. But you have to polish it off just so it doesn't get thick on it. But it will come off nicely. I don't use it myself for polishing the guitars. I just use elbow grease. Elbow grease. Lots of fingerprints on this guitar because it's slightly darker. Got that purple sheen, or should I say purple haze. I haven't cleaned it yet. Right, let's look at the back to see what we've got in the way of pickups, how they were done, if they need any work on them or anything like that. Do you know I haven't plugged this guitar in yet? I came so confident that it was working. I should have plugged it in to see. Right, okay, let's turn it over. Come on, show us your bum. Right, okay, that fell off. That can go down there. And we'll just adjust the camera to see what we got. Lovely colour, isn't it? It's a lovely colour. Actually, I just feel it's a little bit damp there. Just damp. It's just my hand was damp at the back of my hand. Right, okay. Designed by ESP, made in Indonesia. I'll let you have a look at the back there. You can see for yourself. Is that in focus? I think it is. Made in Indonesia. Very nice. Okay, let's take off the back plate and see how the wiring and pickups have been done. No doubt they've been done beautifully, but let's check. I don't think it's shielded with any special shield, but let me get my meter out just to check, just see if it's shielded with black shielding paint. No, it's not. Not a big deal if it's playing well. Big deal if you're playing in front of Wembley or something like that. You want to reduce the amount of buzz, but that's all looking lovely. So I think I'm not even. Will I open that? I'll open that up. Did I let you see? I don't know whether I let you see or not, but it's well enough wired. Don't like the wires they use nowadays, but that's just me. This is not an insult to the person who did the wiring, because it comes with wires and you have to use them. But I just think the quality could be better. Close down there. Let's look at the switch to see if it's nicely wired. And then I'll leave these covers off. Dog barking. Well, that's very neat. That comes from the factory wired like that. So that's quite neat. Okay. So let's switch it on. Just test the pickups before I wire it. And see if there's anything maybe in the way of buzz or something that I need to adjust. And also the jack plug to see if the jack plug. No, it feels good. It's just. Right, okay. Yeah, that's all working fine there. Let me just... Right, perfect. Right, okay. So we're going to put the back on and get her strung up, and then I'll come back to you, and I'll do the nut when the strings are on. They can work back and forth with them. Okay, that looks all nice. I'll switch off now. Well, there you go. That's that guitar done. Pickups are set. The nut has been replaced, filed down. It's extremely low action, extremely low. And I tightened up the heads because they were loose, adjusted the neck as you saw, polished and cleaned the frets, new strings, set the pickup heights. Intonation needed a little bit of setting, but the intonation is now perfect. And so I'm very happy with the way this is looking. Let me just check the tuning again. Let me just... It's a lovely looking guitar, and it's much nicer to play than a Gibson. It's a lovely guitar. Let me just check this. Okay, the front pickup's very powerful. I think I'll actually bring up the back pickup a little bit just to make it a bit better. Give it a bit more equalization of sound. Maybe too far, but these all are easy things to adjust. Okay, you can go home now. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye, Mr. Limited, Mr. Limited.